If you find that you're having a hard time staying present, focus on what you can be grateful for, because that's right in front of you right now, and that will get you anchored into the present moment. If you find yourself having a hard time finding gratitude, get yourself present, breathe, be in the body, for that's where gratitude also lives. That's why it's called the present, because it gives you something to be grateful for. Hi everyone, Therese here. So good to see you. There's so Hi everyone, Therese here. Happy Thanksgiving if you are in the US and seeing this now, and just happy gratitude to all of you who are watching this. I'm so grateful for you and to have another Karma Cards episode with you. So as you can see, the theme this week is about gratitude, and specifically how gratitude is connected to presence. And I asked the team, I'm like, okay, well, gratitude, presence, that sounds great. Is there any more you can give me to share with them to focus on? And they said specifically that they would have you focus on gratitude for your body, because that's one of the things most humans take for granted most of the time. And it makes sense. I mean, we're born with it. We're with it 24/7. It's easy. It's kind of like a pair of glasses, for those who wear glasses. After you have them on for a while, you stop feeling it. You stop noticing it. And it's the same with the body. So they're encouraging us to really get into that space where we're having gratitude for a physical body. And I was talking to my bestie on the phone, and I was saying that the team says, we often think that we're just on this planet arbitrarily, and it's so far from the truth. And I was like, it's like in our minds, we imagine our cosmic mom dropping us off at the mall and being like, I'll pick you up in 80 years, like that. It's not like that at all. From what I understand, from all the reading I've done, from all the meditations I've had with my own team, they really try to hammer home that we are chosen to be here. It's not arbitrary. We're highly selected. Yes, there are some souls that are in a reincarnation cycle where they're still working some stuff out, but there are a lot of us here, and specifically those of you who are listening, because, this message is meant for you. There are those of us who recognize the word starseed or wanderer or light worker. We are here by choice, and we are here through a volunteer program, and we are here because of this amazing experiment that we are on the verge of performing for the first time in our own cosmic history. It's the first time a planet will ascend with beings in the body. So ascension has been achieved many times, but never in a physical body. And that's what we're attempting this time. And that's why it was so tempting to come here to be a part of this process. One, to be of service to humanity on the planet and the planet herself, but also to experience this incredible event where our bodies are slowly but surely shifting and evolving and changing right in front of our eyes. Yep, I hear you, team. So that was them. I don't know if you heard that. We're shifting. We're doing this amazing thing here, and it's not arbitrary. You weren't like assigned Earth randomly. You had to have the right makeup to get here. You had to have a certain level of strength, a certain level of inherent knowledge, carrying codes, the right combination, the right attitude, I guess, to be on the planet. So I'm being asked to continually remind us all that that's the deal, and that our bodies are a beautiful vehicle that we were given. And this vehicle is very special because it's going to do some magic soon that we've never, I don't know if we can grok what we're going to be capable of doing yet. We definitely are being primed for it mentally on some level. So all the stories about magical people, right? We've got like Wheel of Time on Prime or something like that. Harry Potter, all the Eternals, right? That movie, I I haven't watched many of these except Harry Potter, but I know they are there. And we keep getting inundated with this. Why? Why? Is it just to keep our minds occupied in fantasy? Or is some of it preparation for something to come? Sort of like a memory activation code. And I do believe it's both. And what I do know about this planet and everything that's offered here is that things are offered equally. The positive and negative are equally offered. So you can't have something like a brainwashing programming situation without the truth added to it, because it has to be equal catalyst offered from both sides. Isn't that interesting? So things that were being offered, so oftentimes disclosures of truth will be offered with fiction. One is meant to distract you while the other is like, and here's the truth at the same time. It can be difficult though, and we've got to like really use our intuition and feel into things about how true something that's being presented is. So going back to my point about this major shift your body's going to do, and your body's going to do some magic that you probably didn't know it could do. And it's not there yet. It's still carbon, but it's transforming slowly cell by cell into something more crystalline plasma. And you already have crystals in your body. You've got crystals floating in your bloodstream. You've got crystals in your pineal gland. Look it up. It is real. You're filled with crystals already. I think that already makes us pretty magical. All right. So going back to the point the team asked is gratitude for the body. Recognize that while we are here, we're given access to this incredible vehicle. But this vehicle isn't a standard vehicle. This vehicle is the premium deluxe model because of its new features that keep getting added to it all the time. And so they're asking us to do things, especially during this time period right now. So for the next week, next 7 days, how much gratitude can you feel for your body? Like, what can you learn about the body? What can you recognize that the body's already doing? What are new perspectives you can see about something that you are with so much that it almost is like you see it as mundane when it's anything but mundane. So really having gratitude for that. And the body responds to that frequency. Just like, think about an animal companion you have, like a cat or a dog. When you're giving that cat or dog appreciation, gratitude, and affection, that animal perks up and glows, right? They're like positively perky when they receive that kind of loving attention from you. Imagine what your body would do if you started like waking up and being like, hey body, I love you, you're so strong. And this is like a psychic antenna. I keep hearing about this hair being an extension of energy and acting like a psychic antenna. You're amazing. Like, imagine, I already feel like I'm glowing a little bit more just by giving a little love there. So what would it do to give that kind of focused, loving attention on something that already exists with you? Just being present with your body and creating a sensation of gratitude. It feels good, and you're going to see the effect of that. So that is what the team's message is for this time of giving thanks. Now let's look at the karma cards. All right, for those who are new to karma cards, let me quickly show you how these work. I have 3 decks here. Planets, signs of the zodiac, and the houses of astrology. And I've already asked my team in spirit, what is the message you want to share with us this week? And I've got 2 sets of answers, one in red, which are action-related answers, and another set in blue, which are outcome-related. And the way that you play is you tune in and feel, what do you need right now? Over the next week, do you want action-related advice, or do you want to know some outcomes for the following week? And of course, you can always choose both. And while you're tuning in and choosing that, let me tell you the timing for this reading. This reading is for November 24th through December 1st. And the flavor of this reading, this one's going to be an interesting one. We've got Uranus, the plot twist planet, the surprise you didn't see that coming planet, is activated in this week's reading. In the sign of Scorpio, Scorpio is where we are just we've just left this sign and we're moving into Sagittarius now, but this is the sign of the deep digger, deep diving for truth and deep mysticism, psychic energy. In the 10th house represents the external world. Many times it's also connected to career or what you're putting out into the external world as well. All right, for those who are choosing action, your spiritual action is to stir up the situation by using the extraordinary power of prayer responsibly. Okay. Prayer is powerful. Prayer is the asking. The team often says to me, we don't ask enough. All of us. We reserve our prayers. We reserve the asking for when we feel like we really need it. You can do more with it. Doing it responsibly is remember to be of service to others oriented, or using your asking, your prayers for the good of all and harm to none. That's by using it responsibly. So obviously this means we're not wishing ill on any one other person. We remember we're all connected, and anything we're asking for or wishing for is going to affect everyone. So we want to ask for the best, but we need to do this radically and do more of it, and do it like, whoa, you can do it at any time. You don't have to be in a certain place, in a certain position, at a certain time of day. Like, if that's how you're doing it, great, but you can break out of that, break free, ask for more, ask radically, and the universe will respond. Mental action at this time: be open to new ideas about the highest and lowest aspects of success. Well, that's interesting. Be open to new ideas about the highest and lowest aspects of success. You know, what's interesting is success and responsibility are tied together. And I think that, I know for myself, for a long time, I thought about what I wanted to get, and I never really paid too much attention to the repercussions of what does it mean when I get it? Like, how much does this tie me to something once I get it? So it's asking us to consider that. Yes, there are, getting what you want, especially if it's something big, has a big reward attached to it, but it also has a lot of responsibility attached to it. And it also has obligation. So more than responsibility, sometimes obligation. For example, let's say you want to be an influencer or an influential teacher or coach who helps thousands of people throughout the world. Well, that's amazing, and it will have lots of reward attached to it, especially things like esteem and probably a big monetary award if you're helping thousands of people. But it also means that you're karmically tying yourself to thousands of people, and that your intent has to be one of service to others, and understanding, like, the more you get involved with something or someone, the more karmically tied you are. So it's a double-edged sword, success. It's not always one way. There's always the responsibility and the word that I said earlier that I can't remember now, obligation, there it is, attached to it. So it's asking us, think about both. What are you tying yourself to once you help thousands of people? Well, now thousands of people are going to be looking to you to continue to help guide and point the way. And not only that, but everything in your life gets scrutinized under that lens of, well, you were supposed to help. So then making mistakes have greater implications to them, right? When you make a mistake and you're by yourself, there's an implication there, but it's a softer one. Whereas when you make a mistake and thousands of people are watching, right? So it's an interesting point. Physical action at this time: invent a way to control the situation and become a person of power and status. Wow, that is a heavy reading. Invent a way to control the situation and become a person of power and status. There's one way to read that where it's the general way, where you're like, oh, I'm going to manipulate and control this situation, and then everyone's going to follow me and do what I say. That's one way to read it, but that's not the way that my team talks to you. So there's another way to read it. Invent a way to control the situation. Well, the only thing you have control over, my team would say, is yourself, right? To become a person of power and status. So power and status in this case, again, it's talking about the outside world, but it's really, I'm getting like personal power comes from that personal sovereignty and recognizing my responsibility, what I can control. It's all right here. And the more that I focus on this, the stronger and more powerful I become. And that's the energy I radiate. And I feel like that's the read that they're asking you to look at. All right, now let's look at outcomes for Uranus in Scorpio in the 10th house of the external world. The spiritual outcome at this time is an unusual example of purification to resurrect your destiny. Ooh, I like that. An unusual example of purification to resurrect your destiny. Well, I mean, that makes sense, especially if you listen to the last action step, which is have a sense of control, responsibility, and personal power here. That is a purifying act, right? That means you're no longer trying to assert yourself on the outside world and get them to change. You're really focusing here, which is a purifying act right there. And it gets you right back into, right, what am I here for? What did I intend to do? Like, as soon as you get more in touch with yourself on all these different levels, destiny is all around you. You can't get away. You're in a bubble of destiny, if you will. Everything you do is a part of your destiny. It stops feeling like it's at the whim of the world and starts feeling like it's in your control, which it always has been. And getting in that personal alignment of this is mine, this is my side of the street, this is what I clean up, everything becomes clearer. Mental outcome, a different way of looking at the secrets of where you are going. A different way of looking at the secrets of where you are going. You know, what's interesting is this line particularly lights up what we were just talking about when I was saying, like, you're here for a reason, for a really big purpose. You're about to be part of some magic that hasn't been created by the universe before, but is now being attempted. And I feel like getting focused in, remember, taking all the desire to control and putting it back in here and being like, I can choose to respond or react right now. I can choose to, right? If I've reacted and I don't like how I reacted, I can choose to correct that by apologizing, forgiving myself, forgiving others, whatever it is. It's that kind of control, right? As you start having more of this sense of self-awareness and conscious awareness of how you behave and how you're responding, reacting, and perceiving, I think that also it turns on some like light switches. Remember, we're under the veil of confusion and forgetting. There is dormant memory hanging out with you, but it requires that self-presence to start to flip some of the internal memory on. And I think that's the different way of where you're going. You're going to start seeing that. Physical outcome at this time, an unexpected change resulting from the power of your career. All right, so remember the 10th house deals with the external world. And like I said, career standing is usually a part of that. An unexpected change resulting from the power of your career. If you feel like, well, career isn't a thing to me, you could also change that to what I put out in the world. So let's read it that way too. An unexpected change resulting from the power of what I put out in the world. So I get that, you know, the more we are in that state of personal consciousness and therefore personal power, we're radiating something different out into the world. We're going to be a different person reacting or engaging with the outside world than we are if we're trying to control the pieces out there, right? If we're a very different person when we're like, you stop and you behave and you do this. Very different person than a person who's like, I see that going on and this is how I feel about it and I'm allowing myself to process that and now I choose this response. Very different person. So a little bit of that work creates an unexpected change. Remember, Uranus is plot twist, but it doesn't necessarily, it's also surprise party, right? So plot twist can be happy. It can be, you know, it can It's a mixed bag, I will say. Uranus offers a mixed bag, but it could be a surprise party. And I think the more personal awareness that we bring to that party, the better the surprise on the other side. So with that, I'm sending you so much love this week. I look forward to connecting with you next week. We got new moon coming up next week, which means a solar eclipse happening at the same time. So there's a lot of opportunity to make beautiful, big change. And until then, I'm sending you so much love. Thank you for watching. Subscribe now and hit the notification bell so that you know the next time I release a new video. Until then, stay magical.